working for months to build a robust product in secrecy and then launch the world. How many people have heard of stealth startups, started a stealth startup, feel like they would, go into entrepreneurship and keep their ideas to themselves? I'm going to assume everyone's going to raise their hand because we've all heard of the stealth startup, how cool it sounds, right? The problem with stealth startups is that you don't get the feedback you need quickly enough. In order to test whether you're working on the right thing or not, you need to put it in front of people. And I think there are certain verticals, I'm really talking about consumer internet here specifically. I think there are certain verticals outside of consumer internet where stealth might make sense if you're doing pharmaceutical or something, right? But for us, getting it in front of users was the most eye-opening experience. I remember putting bourbon in front of people we didn't know, and they were just like, what is this thing? What are you doing, right? We would be in a busy bar and trying to explain to them on our mobile phones, and they just wouldn't get it. And that happened enough in front of people outside of our friend group that it was really clear we had to work on something different, or at least refine the idea. And I think that's something to keep in mind as you're going about, starting a startup. Building the minimum viable product is super useful. Don't build past what you need to build to answer the questions. I think too many people, I think Eric Ries talks about this all the time, and he says he was at his job and he was building this 3D chat client, and the idea was you could basically link your Yahoo Messenger, your MSN Messenger, all these different messengers to this one 3D client, and he spent 8 weeks doing it, and then they launched it and no one used it. And he said to himself, couldn't I have just done one of those platforms to prove that no one used it? So ask yourself, how much work do you need to do to actually prove whether or not this thing's going to sink or swim, right? The Sink or Swim School of Engineering. We should write this book, right? Yeah. It's really true, though. Everything we do at Instagram, we start by saying, what's V1 of this feature? What's V1 of this thing that we're going to put out in 2 days and test whether or not it's going to work? I think that's super important to remember.